Hey guys, and welcome back to Castle Crush, and today we are going to be playing with a suggested deck here, and that was an elemental cards deck. So we only have elemental cards in here: the fire elemental, mud elemental, ice elemental, and the storm elemental. And then since there weren't, I think that's all of them, and then since there weren't really quite enough, I decided to throw in metamorph to make more, and then rage, just to make it interesting, because honestly, I didn't really know what other strategy to do, so I decided to go with that. I suppose I could have tried to be like, oh, well, I'm going to put a standard bearer in here, or something like that, but I don't know. This deck, it actually works okay because of the ice elemental. That kind of gives a little bit of room. That actually has some synergy with metamorph. So from that sense, metamorph, I think, actually works pretty well with this deck. And then the idea with the rage was basically just mud elemental and rage. And, you know, you can catch them off guard a little bit. Or, you know, if I put storm elemental in one lane, mud elemental in a different lane, sometimes I can kind of get away with the storm elemental. I will say a lot of the matches, there weren't that many good close matches. It was often a lot of matches where I would either dunk my opponent or get dunked, because this deck, it's not really a deck where I'm countering cards specifically that my opponent's playing. I might try to counter their strategy like I did right there, but I'm not usually going card to card specific hard counters. It's more, I'm just trying to make my strategy work. And I'm just trying to force my strategy on my opponent. And so I guess it's true with metamorph. You do end up with some cards that are not elemental cards. Like right there, I had a pirate. But let's be honest, I think it was overall a good addition to this deck. And again, kind of just ignoring what they do. I'm not going to try and counter what they do, because with a lot of these decks, I can't win against an endgame deck if my opponent has one. So I have to try and win in the early game here, usually with rage. And that's what I'm trying to do. Hopefully just get on them really fast. Use the combination of the fire elemental and the ice elemental to eliminate any like really urgent threats. And then just use the mud elemental with rage to finish my opponent off. And that is basically what happened there. And I would say that that one worked out pretty solidly. So interesting situation here, though, ending up with a rushing deck here against, you know, I metamorphed the angel, and I mean, I like the ice elemental in terms of going up against a rushing deck for sure. And I really like Blizzard too, because Blizzard, I've been having a lot of fun with that card specifically, because it really does allow you to kind of win matchups that you wouldn't otherwise be able to win for sure. And that can definitely be completely game-changing. Blizzard is probably one of the most game-changing spell cards, especially if you use it correctly. And this match looking a little sketchy, but they don't have any skeletons out there, so I can still use my metamorph. And I'm going to try and push in on their castle. I really probably should rage. Well, I guess it was good not to use the rage, because they went for the Black Witch, so now I'm going in for the rage. And gotta keep positioning, which is what I do. Realizing I have to maintain my presence there in that middle lane. And I should probably just go in on the middle lane, but I think we're gonna try and block, because I do have I'm down by a fairly significant chunk of health. So, yeah, that dragon's still a problem. I think we need to probably rage now. Thinking about it. End up going with the fire elemental and then raging there. And they went with another Black Witch. I got rather unlucky with the angel, but it might be good. Nah, ends up getting taken out real quick. It's a tough one here. I'm still trying to work on the castle, but I really should have focused bottom lane right there. That was a huge mistake, because I definitely could have frozen and then raged bottom lane. And I think the combination of those two things might have put me in a good position to win. But what ends up happening here... Oh, it's getting close, but then they block it with an ice elemental. Little too late. I should have gone bottom lane. I was trying to delay them, but it didn't really end up... I usually need to have at least 2 lanes to really have a good shot at winning. And then there's 1 lane I can ignore usually. Or at least that's how I kind of deal with it. This one worked out well because they sent the Reaper right into the Ice Elemental, and it's like, thank you for handing me the Reaper. And then we just quickly get rid of the mage, kind of derail their strategy. That was a waste of a Blizzard. Well, maybe not actually, but it sort of was, because Blizzard is a really powerful card, and it's good to save it for the correct moments. Definitely good to save it for the correct moments, but the Fire Elemental did end up getting me position, so I guess that was worth it. Yeah, now I'm pushing in hard top lane, which is good. I like that move. I have to really push hard at their castles here in this game mode. I mean, with this deck. Ooh, Ice Elemental. It was a bad break for me, but I'm going to try. I should have gone middle lane. Should have middle laned. Would have better to spread all 3 lanes, but see, because now they stick in the Vampire. But I guess I got the Vampire, so there's that. We're hammering away at their castle. Should be just about good enough to get the job done, and it is. Awesome victory right there. Really cleaned that match up pretty good. So let's try this again. It's just, it's kind of a tricky challenge, but like there is a legitimate strategy inside of this challenge because Rage Mud Elemental does work. It does work. This isn't the best variation of it, but it is a strategy that works, and I see people use it with cards such as Metamorph, and Metamorph also has good synergy with Storm Elemental too. And some matches I did get off pretty good with Storm Elemental. I didn't include them all because a lot of them are like 30 seconds where I just dunk them with the triple Storm Elemental. And I didn't want to cut between too many matches too quickly, so often I do pick the longer, more entertaining matches. But there are certainly some where I lose instantly and some where I win instantly too, because that deck, this deck just kind of rolls that way. It was kind of hard actually finding, like I had 45 minutes of like footage for this deck, and honestly, like there was really only about like 7 or 8 minutes that was actually like interesting matches, because most of them were just either like me crushing them or them crushing me. So some decks have more of that than others, and yeah, this deck just, there was a lot of just dunking people because that's kind of the objective with this strategy. So, and that's what you're gonna have with Rage a lot of the time too, especially because like this type of deck, it doesn't have the cards to contend with the dragon. If they're getting dragons out there, especially more than one, I'm in big trouble, you know what I mean? So, again, here's a great example of just trying to really go in hard on their castle. And I was trying to use that Blizzard here. I really need to be patient with the Blizzard because, again, getting the Ice Elemental. Blizzard is a very impactful card. I need to save it for the appropriate moments. So they finally get the big DPS off their castle, but I've already done a lot of work on their castle. And smart there, smart. I choose to go with the Ice Elemental. I didn't really have a good occasion for the Blizzard yet. And now I'm going to just keep going in on their castle here. Maybe I'll use the Blizzard on that matchup. Yes, I do. And it's pretty much going to be game over. Just have too much damage on their castle. And that's going to be basically that. So I thought this was a pretty good challenge, honestly. I really did enjoy giving this a go, so keep giving me more suggestions in the comments, because I'll definitely take some of them into consideration. And yeah, looking forward to trying more challenges. So leave a like if you enjoyed. Let me know what you thought about this video in the comments, and what other types of content you'd like to see. Maybe subscribe if you're new to my channel. And thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned for more videos.